Our animal is the pyrosome.
Its scientific name is Pyrosoma atlanticum.
The pyrosome gets its scientific name from the Greek roots pyro meaning fire and soma meaning body. The pyrosome can grow up to 60 feet long. This animal's marine life zone is the pelagic zone, where it can swim freely.
The giant pyrosome normally lives in the twilight zone and photic zone. The giant pyrosome does not seem to purposely travel to specific places due to the fact that their movements are mostly controlled by currents, tides, and waves, but the Pyrosoma atlanticum, as its name describes, usually lives in the Atlantic Ocean. The giant pyrosome's movement is mostly controlled by currents, tides, and waves. However, they can control their movements with jet propulsion created by joint movement of cilia, which are an organelle found in the pyrosomes, among other organisms' cells.
This animal's zooids, which are the animals that make up the colonial animal, eat plankton and microscopic food cells. The animal eats wherever it goes, which is always where plankton can survive and where photosynthesis can occur. This animal's zooids eat by filter feeding as the pyrosome moves along through the water.
The pyrosome eats by opening each zooid both to the inside and outside of the tube, drawing in ocean water from their mouths on the outside to its internal filtering mesh called the branchial basket, extracting the microscopic plant cells on which it feeds, and then expelling the filtered water to the inside of the cylinder of the colony.
Zooids are small animals that make up colonial animals, which are animals composed of other animals.
The giant pyrosome consumes microscopic plant cells found in ocean water, so they are a primary consumer. To other animals, they are merely a food source.
The giant pyrosome reproduces asexually and does not go through a gestation period. They use their stolon to reproduce, which looks very much like a tail. It has been proposed that it is a vestige of the tadpole tail. Once the new colonial animal has been created, it goes off on its own. But this animal has extreme regenerative abilities. This means that if the animal is cut in half, the two separate halves will each develop into a whole animal, forming two different pyrosomes.
The giant pyrosome does not have any natural predators, but they are very vulnerable. The giant pyrosome does not seem to use any means of camouflage.
The pyrosome uses bioluminescence. Although many planktonic organisms are bioluminescent, the pyrosome's bioluminescence is unusual in its brilliance and sustained light emission. It uses this bioluminescence so that each zooid can communicate with other zooids, and the pyrosome as a whole can communicate with other pyrosomes.
Pyrosome is suited for its current environment because the twilight and photic vertical zones are where the most microscopic plant cells are, which it consumes. Humans do not impact the environment of the pyrosome very much, but global warming may affect how they thrive.
The pyrosome will not be extinct anytime in the next 1,000 years because the numbers of the pyrosome don't fluctuate and have no reason to start fluctuating.